Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. It is now 4:31. Our meeting will begin. If you can just bow your head for a moment of silence. Okay. Cynthia, can we get a roll call on the commissioners?
Sure. Merrick,
Here.
Soto Presley, Kaspricki,
Here.
Myricks,
Here.
Poppridge.
Here. For the record, we have number 3 is a declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4, communications.
None were
I
received.
don't think any were received. Okay. Number 5 is our minutes dating April 7th, 2020.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for April 7th, 2020 for Redevelopment Commission.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Minutes dating April 7th, 2020. Let's get a roll call then on that.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley, Kaspricki,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. All right. That brings us to number 6, the essential matters here tonight. Letter A is homebound municipal forgivable loan approval. According to the list, it looks like we only have 1 applicant.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the conditional forgivable loan approval for Yvette Jones for 7733 Delmar Avenue.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 1 applicant, Yvette Jones, 7733 Delmar Avenue. Let's get a roll call on that.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley, Kaspricki,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Cynthia, the next items, are those typos for the letter alphabet? Should I just go B, C, D, E, or just read them as?
I'm sorry about that. It's because I copy and paste on the agenda, and so it hit a whole bunch. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. I'll just read them, and then the next item would be letter B, obviously. Approval of Barnes and Thornburg LLP for services as special counsel to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission.
Can I just ask why have we seeked special counsel in the past?
We do for the bond work, and anytime we have bonds, we have bond counsel. There is some discussion with regard to a potential what's called an economic improvement district up in North Hammond. That obviously that's the area around the data center that Barnes helped us as bond counsel in the past. So they're going to be taking a look at that, as well as, and I know you weren't here last meeting, but there was some pairing, what they call pairing or taking out of things out of the TIF district and to be able to put them back in so that we can get the biggest bang for our buck in terms of the assessed valuation that they're working with SEH on. So there's a couple of kind of intricate bond items that we employ them for.
I just don't really ever recall us looking for special counsel. I'm not against it. I was just curious.
Well, you have any of the bond issues you've approved, Wally, you've approved a special counsel arrangement for them. So it's typically either Barnes, Jimmy Shanahan. So it's either Tom Pittman, Jimmy Shanahan, and then there's a guy from Faegre that we use, Faegre Baker Daniels, that we use from time to time also.
Okay, then I just didn't recognize it.
I'd like to say good afternoon to the committee, to the redevelopment commissioners and everyone else.
Good afternoon.
And I'd like to apologize for being late. I couldn't get on. Are we on item I?
It's
We are.
actually it's gonna be letter B, just follow the A, B.
Okay,
There's
thank
a cut and paste little Cynthia already, we're all good, but just follow on.
thank you.
So we are on approval of Barnes and Thornburg. We're having a discussion, and I'm not sure if there's any more further questions, but thank you, Mr. Westland. So all we would need is a motion on that, unless you guys have some questions.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of Barnes and Thornburg for services as special counsel to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of Barnes and Thornburg LLP for services as special counsel to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. There's no further questions or discussion, and roll call on that.
Merrick,
Yes.
Stoto Presley,
Yes,
Keswick,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, for the record, there's motion passes with all 5 yes. Marion Soto is now present at the meeting. Thank you. All right. Letter C is an approval of development agreement among Hammond Redevelopment Commission and 18th Street Distillery regarding 26 Fayette Street and 474 through, that's 447 Fayette Street.
Members of the commission, if you look, I have to turn it because Cynthia and I are sharing, but members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find a copy of the development agreement for between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and 18th Street Distillery regarding the property at 496 Fayette Street and 474 to 478 Fayette Street. Both of these properties are owned by the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. We have on the line Drew Fox from 18th Street Brewery and Distillery. He can give us an overview of the project, but basically the project, he's doing a lot in the downtown area. We're really excited about it. For these properties that have sat vacant for quite a while, he came up with a really good idea. As you know, this property was put out to bid, and he did submit a proposal, and he has a very interesting proposal that I think will definitely enhance the downtown area. He's proposing residential as well as commercial development on those 2 sites, but at this time, I will let him explain a little bit more about the actual development. So Drew has to be unmuted.
Okay.
Good evening, Commission. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
good afternoon.
Our proposed development on these sites, as I spoke to Africa, and what we'd like to do is increase our distillery production in the main space, which would be the 496 building, as well as add in 2 residential Airbnb units. That would roughly be a efficiency unit in both of those bays that were used as old spray booths at one point. Our plan is to develop those Airbnbs. In the first phase would be 2021. The second phase would be 2022. But our more immediate phase would be phase 1 is take the vacant land, which would be 474-78, and turn that into an outdoor entertainment space where we can show live movies, make it a family-friendly environment. We'll have a similar trailer container that we have on our current patio at our Hammond facility, which we serve beer, wine, and cocktails, and use a portion of that green space as well to grow our own botanicals for our distillation process. We will immediately like to begin on the facade with a tuck pointing, painting, and taking care of some of the exterior windows that are in bad shape. That's the phase 1 plan, which you depending on approval of this commission, we like to start that project right away to get the building back into usable shape, as well as change some interior lighting as well. In our current space at the distillery at 5417 Oakley Avenue, Suite 1, we are currently out of production space. We really don't have any space to store barrels. We really don't have any space to increase our demand for grain store, our product to sell in the state of Indiana. I know that was kind of a breeze through, but that's a short synopsis of what we like to do with approving the property, as we have done such with our Sournow property and our 5417 property as well. So I look forward to working with the commission on this approval, and I look forward to starting the continued beautification of downtown Hammond.
Sounds like it's a step in the right direction on what Hammond needs. No questions on this end.
Yeah, same thing with the 18th Street Brewery that's you've been running now for a few years. It's been a great asset and a great piece of real estate in the downtown Hammond area. So this would be great, just on the other block over there with it.
Well,
There's no further questions. No.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the development agreement 474-78 Fayette Street.
Second?
Is there any further questions or discussion? Since there is none, then roll call, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Hasbricki,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
and Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. All right. Brings the letter E, approval of masonry and roof repairs at 5209 Holman Avenue.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find an estimate from Corellis Roofing for work to be done on the property at 5209 Holman Avenue, which is also commonly known as the Hammond Innovation Center. The roof has substantial damage, and it is affecting various things, so much so that now it's becoming a safety precaution for the possibility of bricks falling. So on the call, I believe on the call from Corellis, we have Nicholas, the project manager. He should be on the call today.
I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
So,
Afternoon.
Nicholas, can you explain a little bit about the work that needs to be done and basically the urgency and why the work needs to be done to this level?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. The first part of this proposal actually came second. The second part came first. So we got asked to look at some roofing issues. The neighboring building on the south side has some brick that are actively falling onto the roof of the 5209 property. So we have in here to put some pads down there to soften that those bricks from falling and damaging that roof of the 5209 building. We've reached out to the south side building and they're not in a position to do anything about those bricks. So we just want to make sure those don't cause more damage to the existing roof, as well as extensive leaking areas and extensive masonry deterioration along that same south wall of the 5209 building. On the parapet, the bricks are falling apart, and we need to make those repairs with the bricks and roof over top of the exposed brick area over to the next building. And that was something I think that got submitted before I came to Corollas a couple years ago. And, it's gotten extensively worse since then. One of those, repair faux pas, the longer you wait, the worse it gets, right? The other part of the proposal, which is the first top half that I did myself, pertains to the east wall. It's the back alleyway. Now that top parapet wall is basically falling apart. And that's where you get your fall hazards. The brick can fall out right now and, hit a car, hit a person, or hopefully avoid any of that stuff, but just still fall on the ground for people to trip over and stuff. So we're proposing to take out that parapet wall. It's the quickest, easiest solution, and it's going to save everyone some money. To pull it down, it serves no other purpose other than to, just be there, and we'll roof over top of that lowered parapet wall on that side and put a cap on that to make sure it doesn't leak anymore, along with extensive repairs around that same wall on the east side of the back of the building. There's a lot of brick that are on the verge of being loose, if not loose already, that can fall out, and lots of missing mortar that, it's just deteriorated over the years. It's ready for some maintenance. The amount of this proposal has a lot to do with that backside, has a ton of power lines in the way that we need to make sure we keep our guys safe, safety first for all our employees. We'll get those covered and we'll get that wall back up where it needs to be and keep everyone safe. Does anyone have any questions?
I always heard it said, you don't need a roof, you don't need a new roof unless training.
Well, let's cancel the rain for the rest of the year. We'll all be fine. I like that.
None. No questions here.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Anybody? My pleasure.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Do you guys want me to stay on the call for the rest of the call for anything?
You may be excused. It's up to you, but you may be excused. Thank you for your overview of the project.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of masonry and roof repairs at 5209 Holman Avenue.
I
Second.
second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of masonry and roof repairs at 5209 Holman Avenue. Can we get a roll call in, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Little Presley,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopbridge.
Yes, motion passed. Yes. Just like to comment, it's good to see a good Hammond union contractor at this type of work. So, and they do excellent work. So, thank you.
Yes.
Letter E is an approval of Hammond Innovation Center office rebuild.
So members of the commission, this sort of goes hand in hand with the work that's being done on the roof. As you are aware, or you may not, let me remind you, probably a few months to a year ago, there was a problem with moisture and mold in the building. So we had to have a wall removed and have that cleaned out, and it was removed. And the office is now occupied by staff of HDC as well as in the kitchen for safety reasons. At this point in time, because we're getting the roof repaired, we want to also do some repairs to that. The office rebuild will actually be drywall installed because now there is no drywall on the wall for staff as well as in the kitchen. So we want to put the drywall up. In your packet, you will find 2 estimates. And upon receipt of these estimates, I did ask the building commissioner to review both of them. One is less, but he did state that it does not include the final cleanup or vacuuming to interior areas or removing dust stains, labels, and tags, cleaning all windows. So basically cleaning the cleanup as the work is going forth and at the end. So it was the recommendation of the building commissioner that we go with William Slather Construction for the rebuild of the office building. I'm sorry, of the office at the Hammond Innovation Center.
I myself would trust Mr. Vale's or Commissioner Vale's request.
Yes.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of Innovation Center office rebuild.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of Hammond Innovation Center office rebuild. Can we get a roll call on it?
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5. Okay, letter F, bills. I think we have some new and unfinished business or some other items on the agenda tonight.
Yes.
So letter F is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the Register of Claims for June 1st through June 11th, 2020 for Register Claim number R58690 through R58720.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for our register of claims dating June 1st, 2020 through June 11th, 2020. That's claim R58690 through claim R58720. Is there any questions or discussion on these claims for staff? They seem to be all in order. So let's get a roll call then.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes. Motion passes with 5 yes. Okay, Cynthia or Africa, I was out in the field all afternoon, so I didn't get to print the extra items. So if you want to dive in those, unless Dean Button's going to talk about the issue first, the water issue at the tank or whatever.
Mr. President, members, ladies and gentlemen of the commission, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Today, earlier, I received a proposal from a firm, Tank Industry Consultants. Hopefully you've received a copy of that. I apologize for the lateness of that, but it was only received today. The proposal is a $8,000 professional services agreement between the Redevelopment Commission and Tank Industry Consultants, a professional engineering firm that does evaluations of water storage tank throughout the United States. During the course of the work on the Columbia Avenue tank, some conditions have arisen where it was my recommendation to the city and to the Redevelopment Commission that we hire a third party to guide us through some concerns that have developed as it relates to a removal of some interior trusses to the tank. So it's an $8,000 not to exceed. There is a rate sheet attached and an agreement. And I would answer any questions, and I would ask that the motion be to agree to approve the agreement and authorize the president to execute the agreement on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission. And I'll entertain any questions.
Hey, Dean, that firm, are they from the tank or from Indianapolis? Is that correct? Or
Yes, sir. They're an Indianapolis firm. It is their headquarters, but they do work all over the United States for sure, perhaps even outside the U.S. And they have experienced two these types of incidents in the past as a third-party representative in the past 6 months. And so they're familiar with the conditions, the actions, the American Waterworks Association's technical standards for water tank construction and painting. And so they are really a very high standard. And we're just seeking a third party to help us with the actions that are currently occurring.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for our city engineer, Dean Button? If there is no questions, Dean, thank you. You know, these kind of things do happen, as we know, in big construction projects. So if you could read the motion that you're looking for, then someone can so move and second on that, if you could do that, how you want it stated.
Sure. I would suggest a motion for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission to approve agreement between the Redevelopment Commission and Tank Industry Consultants in the amount of $8,000 and authorize President Halprich to execute the agreement.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, thank you. There's a motion and a second. Let's get a roll call on that then.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey,
I think he fell off again. He was trying to sign on, so.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopridge.
Yes, motion passes with 4 yes, 1 absent of technical difficulty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I guess African Dave, I think there was maybe another item or two that you needed to discuss?
No, this is it.
And that was it for me too.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Yes.
Before we adjourn, I just want to recognize, I see that the 3rd District Councilman, who is my councilman, Barry Tyler Jr. is with us today.
Oh, great.
Hi, Barry.
Hi,
Hi,
Barry.
neighbor.
Hi, Councilman.
Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Barry. Thank you for joining in.
No problem. Thanks for all the work that you all do for the city.
Looking forward to see you in person here real soon. All right. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to comment on or before we adjourn? All right. Well, then looks like we'll be off a couple weeks. Our next meeting will be July 7th. So just need a motion then to adjourn.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is
Have a
adjourned.
happy 4th.
Good evening and be safe, everybody.